Hi, my name is Kaylee Proctor, and this is my persuasive speech. Imagine your children and grandchildren, the next generation of scientists who are finding the cures for cancer, leaders in our church that are making decisions for the best of the congregation, and judges deciding the fate for life and death sentences. What if this next generation are being exposed to an element that evokes life-threatening violence? What if this element is being exposed to them in your living room, or better yet, in their very bedrooms? This element is violent video games. Violence is defined as a behavior intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone or something. Now, violence is a part of life, and I understand that. It's very true. We all have to face violence. But Dave Grossman and Gloria DeGatto, in their 2009 article, Stop Teaching Our Kids to Kill, make a very valid point. They say, "We do not take our children to see autopsies performed as entertainment, nor do we invite someone into our living room to kill, brutally beat, or rape another person for our children to witness for their amusement." Considering this, if we wouldn't do that, and I could almost say that most of us would agree, we're not going to allow something like that in our living room. And if we say that we wouldn't do that, then why would we allow violent video games that have the same style of violence? Today, I would like to explain to you the reasons why violent video games should not be allowed for children. First of all, to explain that they have inappropriate content, that they increase violent behavior in children, and they make it hard for kids to distinguish the difference between real life and imaginary. Now, critics argue that violent video games promotes intelligence, but they have a fine print to what they say. It's only true if they balance their time playing video games with real life socializing. But how often are you going to find someone that wants to stop playing violent video games to go socialize? Video games are too addictive for this to be reasonable, and the negative definitely outweighs the positive. Violent video games have a ton of inappropriate content. Kimberly Thompson and Kevin Hannigan, in their Journal of American Medical Association, tell us that violence is even in E-rated video games, not just mature-rated video games. Also, the languages in most violent video games are very, very explicit. Along with the language, it has sexual content, including violence towards women and revealing images of women that we don't want our kids to see. Along with inappropriate subjects and teaching our kids inappropriate language, violent video games encourage violent behavior. The reason that it causes so much problem for increasing violence in their behavior is that it teaches them that it's okay to kill, that they're finding this accomplishment in killing people. And it's negative, not a positive thing. It's not like they're getting a home run or their baseball game. It's I found an accomplishment in killing someone and watching their guts explode. That's not a positive thing. We don't want our kids to do that. In research by Craig Anderson and Brad Bushman in their Psychological Science Journal say that violent video games increase aggressive thoughts and feelings. And not only that, but Greg Anderson also tells us in his article, Violent Video Game Myths, Facts, and Unanswered Questions, that it is a fact that violent video games are directly linked to criminal behavior. As well as bad habits, violent video games entice kids to believe that the virtual world is real. It's hard for them to distinguish the difference between real life from imaginary. It feels so real for them as they're playing these games because the graphics are so advanced compared to something like Pac-Man. Pac-Man is not, the graphics aren't very vivid, but vivid it is in violent video games now. Kids believe in fairy tales, but violent video games are so much more believable than these fairy tales, and it's harmful because they're not just watching the video games, they're entering into this killing world that desensitizes them to killing. Trickling negative factors are endless of violent video games. The effects are so much greater than we believe. Technology is a great invention, and I understand that, and it has such potential to do great things for the future. But we need to be cautious of the negative factors that it holds. The school shooting in Newtown, Connecticut at Sandy Hook Elementary School. us a clear example of the violent behavior and how it affects kids. Just this one kid caused that much damage, and we remember that so vividly. And if this one kid caused that much damage, I can't imagine if we don't stop violent behavior that as a result of violent video games, what else could happen. We need to protect them from the effects of violent video games. We need to protect their lives. We need to protect them from the inappropriate content of violent video games, the violent behavioral habits that it causes, and the hard times it causes them to have to teach them from the real life from imaginary. We need to tell them the difference. We need to protect their lives. We need to protect them from violent video games. Thank you.